In the last video, we took a look at kit bashing and assembling a basically a chaplain for Grimdark Future. And I talked about how that process, if you're just trying to build this one figure, is a bit pricey. Because I believe I pulled the parts from 3 different kits for this. But in this video, we are going to be looking at assembling a librarian. A librarian in both Grimdark Future and in Games Workshop's Warhammer 40k is a psyker, and the benefit in Grimdark Future is you can cast spells, which is awesome. Which, I mean, I guess the psyker can cast spells, but it has preset ability type stuff in 40k. I haven't played at Games Workshop games in a long time. But in this video, we're going to be looking at building, basically, a librarian. This one, if you're starting off with just buying the STLs for just this one figure, this is going to be less expensive than the previous video. All we're using in this unit is the Station Forges Socrates, I believe Legion Knights, and from there we're just pulling files from there and assembling those files. So I wanted the librarian, and how I wanted to assemble this librarian was as an archivist with, I believe I chose the relic sword. There wasn't an option to remove the heavy pistol or the default blaster, so I ended up using that as, hey, he probably has it under his cloak, but aesthetically, I want him to hold a book. A little tome. Because he's a librarian. And for the relic sword, I got this from the Legion Knights files. We can see some runes etched on it. And I felt like this fit the idea of, hey, it's a relic sword. And for the body of the character, I chose this one. Bulkier. It's got some scrolls hanging off of him, some keys, some books, and a really nice robed cape on it. And I felt like this fit the whole identity of a librarian. And we've got his head right here. I chose one with a little beard. A little beard. And because in Games Workshop files, minis, we see the psychers usually having some, wires on their head. I was really fortunate to find that this one also has some wires and panels coming off the top of his head. So this would work very well for being the librarian, archivist. In total, this cost me about 50-60 cents to print. It was on the bit of a heavier side than the other figures I've printed so far in this series of videos. And comparing that to the price of a librarian for Games Workshop's Warhammer 40k, that's a lot of savings, because the librarians there, it's a solo, so it's usually $30 to $60. But here we've got one that I printed for about 50 cents plus the price of the STLs, so $15.50 if you're buying new, or just 50 cents if you're buying just this one figure. So let's get to assembling. So I believe this came out really well. As we can see, we've got our librarian figure here. He's clutching his book, holding his sword aloft, just looking quite serious, quite magnificent here. And it fits the overall tone that I was trying to build with this, where you've got a character that, hey, he might be casting spells or just bringing down this deadly force upon his opponents. I don't know how I'm going to be building my my Prime Brothers, my basically Space Marine army in in Grimdark Future yet. I know it's going to have some intercessor stand-ins, some plasma rifle stand-ins, stuff that will deal a heavy amount of damage. But for now, we've got 2 options for leaders, for generals, for I'm not really sure the term of it yet. We've got the Librarian I just built, and from last video, we've got the Chaplain. So yeah, thank you all for watching. Next video, I'm not really sure what I'm going to be doing in it next. I might be going more into some of the units, or I might be looking more into some of the more specialized leader roles, because these are really fun to kit bash and play with and, choose, okay, which of these fancy big parts from these other kits do I want to pull from one kit into another and just assemble together. Because this has been quite enjoyable. If you want to see more content like this, I would highly suggest you subscribe, leave a like, some comments. Tell me what your experience is playing Warhammer 40k or Grimdark Future or any other tabletop horror games like. And if you want to support me financially, because this does cost money and, printer maintenance and resin, you can always go and support me on Patreon, where I hope to be posting some pictures and behind-the-scenes content soon as I get more supporters over there. So thank you all for watching. Go check out Station Forge's My Mini Factory page, and have a good day.